is on adopting new technologies for teaching and learning.
We're looking at a conversation on recommendations as far as improving the educational sector using technology is concerned.
So information, communication, technology, including internet connectivity, have tremendous, potential to solve some of the world's most pressing challenges.
Some schools, of course, may not have had that opportunity at all, depending on the part of the country they are in. And so basically there has been no effective schooling for some schools for 3 months or more, 6 months. How has that affected the school and its progress and its programs into the near future?
The pandemic has undoubtedly also created opportunities for us to be creative and adopt innovative strategies to ensure continuity of learning. The COVID-19 also brought deeper, understanding of the many dimensions of the digital divide, equity gaps, and issues around children's safety with the usage of these technologies. It showed governments the need to work closer with development partners to remove technological barriers and lower cost of ICT tools. I really salute that here you brought the local companies that are here and that bringing really their support, their contribution to the effort. This is the kind of coalition, global coalition of private partner, civil societies, and of course with the government to build the best synergies really to support the government, since it's the primary priority of the government to ensure this access.
We are hoping that you help us to identify these items in a constructive way, and that's why we wanted a focus group approach of a small group of people who can have enough time to think and talk about the issues.
We cannot talk about technology without talking about the human resource.
We have 3 months. How can we work with with teachers? How can we help? How can we use this time to capacitate them, to equip them with the skills that they need?
We need the correct human resource.
There will be about 2 week, 3 week, 4 week training courses or programs for teachers during the pandemic.
If teachers are not well trained on the usage of gadgets that will be supplied from other partners and other technological, companies, teachers will find it very difficult.
There's a need for some basic IT training for the parents so that they can encourage the students after the teachers have left.
We realize that in terms of education, there's something called CIE, that is Curriculum Assessment, Instruction and Assessment. So on the part of the curriculum, we propose that the content is supposed to be web-based, so that at any point in time, wherever the child is, wherever the tutor or the facilitator is, there can be that kind of connectivity.
I had wanted to mention the point on timing. If we're talking about technology in education, before COVID, we would have had more time, but now there isn't much time at all. Thinking of some students going to write exam next year, but they've already lost 7 months.
I feel that maybe one of the ways we can also do this is by having the content offline. Offline in the sense that instead of connecting it into the internet, we just put the whole content on either the computer or the tab. So it's very easy for the student to, access it without necessarily, having the internet.
Talking about the rural areas, if we focus so much on internet, it will take so much time because the infrastructure gap over there. If they would have to connect internet there, it needs huge investment.
We think the public, the governments, and the public sector could do a better job of raising public awareness through public education programs, especially on the government's own decisions and actions with regards to COVID and post-COVID related issues.
We really want to dwell on partnerships. We can't do anything in education alone.
We can create a kind of coalition and commit to help concretely teachers.
Is it a good idea, and we think it is, for us to decide, for example, that as stakeholders we will commit ourselves to a program to connect, for example, as many as 100,000 students and 1,000 teachers, to use very small numbers, and 100 schools to ICT connectivity of various kinds and various intensity by a certain period, let's say even in 2 years.
Companies are here, private companies are here, key representatives of union or CSO are here. So let's make a common pledge, and we as UNESCO we are ready to join this coalition to support concretely really teachers, the few teachers and the new teachers really to contribute to this continuity of education and to the sharing of knowledges.
I'd also like to add that when private organizations are providing equipment for schools and other stakeholders, they should always ensure that there's transparency and accountability. Make sure that when you provide computers, you provide laptops, tablets for schools, they are going to the right people. It's not going to administration board because they are not the people that it is.
Cemetery, there's more knowledge than most universities. Buried knowledge. And I find that to be a little uncomfortable. I won't say distasteful, but knowing that people have knowledge, and anybody who dies actually dies with their knowledge. And if you don't have means of replicating the knowledge, sharing it, packaging it, reproducing it, so that others and especially future generations can also benefit from it, then for me, the purpose of life is really not fulfilled. So what drives me in ABCDE is this very essence of why we are on earth, how short our earthly existence is, and how important is it, or how important it is for us to multiply ourselves in as many forms and means as possible.
Our children, our grandchildren will not pardon us for having kept this information for our own consumption.
To the extent that towards the conclusion of this discussion, we got the kind of commitments that we are hoping to hear from the NAT as an association representing teachers and the private teachers union, as well as ADB, a major financial institution. It's the kind of commitment that really will allow us to make even greater progress.